we would like to, at the outset, take this opportunity to wish a number of individuals Mazel Tov and beautiful simchas, and Baruch Hashem, all of you collectively should be zocheh to continued simcha and continued hatzlacha. First, Mazel Tov to Yoni Frolinger upon his recent marriage to Lauren Winter. Mazel Tov to Chaim Schiff upon his recent marriage to Tamar Cohen. Mazel Tov to Jeremy Siegel upon his recent marriage to Zahava Hoffman. Mazel Tov to John Engelhardt upon his recent engagement to Sarah Yeager. Mazel Tov to Shmuel Goldstein upon his recent marriage to Kayla Haber. And Mazel Tov to Ilan Aiken upon his recent marriage to Eva Bain. All of you, both collectively and individually, should be zocheh to build a Bayis Nema B'Yisrael, l'Shem U'Tiferes. We're really overjoyed that Baruch Hashem, you were zocheh to reach this milestone in your life. You should continue to go b'chayil l'chayil. In this week's Parsha, a bow, there's a famous comment quoted by the Ramban in the name of Rabbeinu Hananel. The Torah tells us regarding one of the Makos, Arbe, the following statement: Vayal ha'arbe al kol eretz Mitzrayim, vayonach b'chol gvul Mitzrayim, kaved ma'od. The Torah says the nature of this arbe was markedly distinctive. Lefanav lahaya chen arbe kamo. Heretofore, there was never a plague of this enormity. V'achrav lo yiachein. The Torah, in its predictive and futuristic prophetic nevuah, indicates v'achrav lo yiachein. There never again will be such an arbe. Rabbeinu Hananel comments in his Parshas Torah and articulates the following note. He writes, and the Ramban quotes it: "V'kasav Rabbeinu Hananel b'Parshas Torah shelo me'es ha'Torah Moshe Rabbeinu v'ad achshav ein arbe mafsid b'chol Mitzrayim." From the moment that Moshe Rabbeinu indicated with this statement, "V'achrav lo yiachein," the arbe has not in any way wrought any kind of hefsed in Mitzrayim. And the Ramban says, and again in the name of Hananel, "V'im yipol be'eretz Yisrael v'yavo v'yikanes b'gvul Mitzrayim eino ochel b'kol yivul haaretz klum ad achshav." Even if arbe will go ahead and come to Eretz Yisrael, says the Ramban, it will not consume the yivul of Mitzrayim, and this is exactly inherent or embedded in the language of Moshe Rabbeinu in the Torah in Parshas Bo. V'al zeh nemar sichu b'chol nifloosav. The Ramban quotes Rabbeinu Hananel as saying that this is part of our obligation to recognize the niflos habore, the wonders of Hashem Yisbarach, sichu b'chol nifloosav, the obligation to relate, to recount, to actually expatiate and expand to the extent that we can on niflos habore. And here we have one of the unbelievable niflos habore in the context of a nevuah, as it were, from the Torah. V'achrav lo yiachein. Of course, this is unquestionably one of the rayas that the Torah is min hashamayim, that Torah is of divine origin. Only the Torah can make a statement of this nature, of this import, and this we are obligated to go ahead and spread. Sichu b'chol nifloosav. Just as we are witness to the niflos habore in the context of the Eser Makos, we're also witness to the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu that is recorded for posterity, lanetzach, in the context of Parshas Bo, and this is certainly an obligation that we have constantly to be makir tov to the niflos habore, to be makir tov to the chasdei Hashem, and ultimately, this Rabbeinu Hananel is telling us an obligation that each one of us has individually and collectively as well, to constantly say Shevach V'odot Hashem Yisbarach over the wonderful niflos that the Torah has recorded, and over even futuristic types of nevuah, such as the one mentioned here with reference to arbe, and b'chlal, the obligation of every Jew to constantly recognize the beneficence that he or she are subject to, are the recipient of from Hashem Yisbarach, sichu b'chol niflosav. Now, we should be makir tov to Hashem Yisbarach for every tzad v'shal, for every step, for every ability to breathe, for every chesed that Hashem Yisbarach does for us, which are manifold, which are countless, and thereby fulfill this pasuk, sichu b'chol niflosav. The question of the day, of the week, that was raised in a situation where perhaps there might be opposition to singing Shalom Aleichem on Friday night in the context of a Seudah of Shabbos. What should one do? The rule of thumb, the Rambam tells us at the end of Hilchos Chanukah, Gadol HaShalom. The most overriding principle in a person's life within the household context should be Shalom Bayis. Shekol HaTorah Kula Nida El Alaso Shalom. The entire Torah was given for the purpose of spreading and, shall we say, effecting a peaceful kind of environment in one's home. The Rambam quotes the pasuk, Duachea Dachi Noam B'chol Nesivosei Shalom. So if the singing of Shalom Aleichem would perhaps, Chas v'Shalom, in some way interfere with the Shalom Bayis, then one can be mevater on the Shalom Aleichem. The Chavetz Chaim is a famous psak, not quoted in Mishnah Berurah, but mentioned actually in the biography of the Chavetz Chaim. There were Aniyim who once came to the home of the Chavetz Chaim for Shabbos. They were guests, and the Chavetz Chaim felt that we could defer the Shalom Aleichem, which is normally sung together with Eishes Chayil. We could defer it to the meal, because these Aniyim were hungry, they were famished, and it's more important to go ahead and get on with it, as it were, and say the Kiddush, and get on to the meal in order to be misameach them. And the Shalom Aleichem can be deferred to later. And here also, in this context, perhaps one can say the Shalom Aleichem privately or quietly, or perhaps one can even discuss the value and the beauty of singing Shalom Aleichem and what one is trying to accomplish by bringing Shalom. As we know, the Gemara says in Shabbos in Be'er Kol Kisvei, the Gemara discusses the malachim that accompany a person on his way home from shul, and this is all what we're striving for, each one of us in our own household, namely to create an environment of Drachea Dachino and B'chol Nesivosei Shalom. That should be the motivating factor that drives us, that actually is the item that really is the most important, the most overwhelming and overriding issue that should be in effect our major concern. Alavai, all of us should be zocheh to constantly promote shalom, as Rashi quotes in Brachas. In the last parak, Rashi mentions the notion of rotfeu, that it's not sufficient to go ahead and simply expect shalom to exist passively, but rather one has to pursue shalom. Baki shalom v'rotfeu. One has to actually seek out shalom, and the way to do it is by trying every way imaginable to really interact with people in the most wholesome of ways, and thereby, by being mevakesh shalom v'rotfeu, undoubtedly won't be able to bring shalom ba'olam, and will bring shalom ba'olam and to Klal Yisrael. Unquestionably, this will be a precursor to the ultimate Geula.